Hey guys and gals, me George, the Shade Tree Fix-It Man, and I'm here in the garage and I'm puttering with the Gadget bike, and as you can see I have taken the motor back off. That's because I'm going to be making some modifications to the motor mount itself, and one of the modifications you can see sitting right down there. And let me go in there and I'll show you what that's all about. One of the modifications I'm making is this rubber motor mount. As I had mentioned in my ride video, I was getting a lot of vibration, not from the bike itself, but from the engine, especially on acceleration. And of course, any of you who are familiar with single-cylinder, four-cycle engines, they do have a lot of vibration. If you try to start them up on a bench or something, they'll just hop all around the bench because they're not super well balanced. So one of my subscribers suggested that I put motor mount. Actually, several subscribers did. And so I made up this piece. This is well, a little more than a quarter of an inch thick. Came out of part of my truck bed liner. I actually have a full bed liner, and then I have a rubber mat as well in the bottom. And this came out of that rubber mat in one corner. So that will get mounted on here, and the motor get mounted back on that and screwed down to it, and that should take care of some of the vibration. And another thing that I'm going to do, I haven't got to it yet today, and I probably won't, is right here on the back of the seat. It's mounted solid to this bar, which in turn is mounted solid to our hardtail. There's no suspension on this bicycle. So another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a rubber cushion here between the seat and this bar, and then I'm going to put another rubber cushion underneath between the fender and the bar, and I'm actually going to bolt right through because this fender is fairly floppy. It's only mounted up in this area here. So I'm going to bolt right through the fender, through a rubber mount here, through another rubber mount there, and then finally to the top. And that'll help eliminate some of the vibration too, I think. So yeah, and you can perhaps get a better shot of that motor mount now without all the backlight. I should have started over here in the first place. Yeah, there it is. That's right where it's going to go. And it'll just get, the motor will get bolted right through it. And another change that I have made, you'll notice, is the front wheel. The front wheel that was on it is 26-inch, and it didn't look good to me when we were riding it at the airport. It just looked too big. And I have a 20-inch wheel on the front, which happens to be the same size as the wheel on the back. The tire on the back obviously is bigger and wider, and the wheel is wider. But this will give it a little more of a balanced look, I think, and I'm also thinking it might help it to handle a little better. Now, I realize that this is actually going to kill two birds in one stone for me. Move you around here again, because now that I've gone to a smaller wheel, my brake mount doesn't line up anymore. But this was pretty cobbled up looking weld anyway, and I hadn't finished them off. I was going to finish them off and grind them and stuff, but I'm going to come up with a different mounting system that'll be cleaner, and I'm thinking that I'll probably mount the brake on the back side of the wheel back here instead of on the front side of the wheel. And that'll help me in a couple of ways, because even though these will be away from the fork, if the tension will be pushing towards the front, so that if they did ratchet a little bit, they would eventually hit here. I don't think they would ever go that far. But yeah, so that's a couple of changes I'm making. And one more change down here on our motor mount. Again, another problem I was having, and I think was contributed to in the vibration, is that I could actually see the motor rocking, and that's after I put in these gussets here and put in extra gusseting in here. So what I'm thinking of doing, I'm going to add some beef to it, you know, some beef. This is 1/8" steel bent, and this is going to get mounted up underneath here, and that should stiffen it up quite a bit more, I think. And so yeah, that'll add some strength to it, and maybe take some of the vibration off. And I haven't got to it yet, but I'm not happy with my throttle linkage the way it is. It works okay, but it still doesn't look quite right. So moving back around again, George, why don't you learn to, you know, you gotta set yourself up with a plan of action before you start making these videos, instead of just winging it. It still looks kind of too much like it's added on. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to come up with a different setup, and we'll see how that works out. I haven't figured it out yet exactly, but I'm sure I can come up with a solution. And I'm thinking that what I may do, and this is just what I'm thinking about, is that rather than having this all hanging on the outside, I may actually drill right down through the tube, this tube here, and weld a short tube in there and have my linkage go right down through the middle and then hook to the carburetor. So it'll be more integrated, you know what I mean? So there you have it. Till next time, this is George, the Shade Tree Fix-It Man, saying thanks for watching. Bye now.